Hi YouTube. Today I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about some of the unwanted spiritual effects of psychedelics. So, for the most part, psychedelics are fairly safe for your physical body, and they aren't overly detrimental to your mental health or anything like that, especially on the common doses and with the most commonly used substances. Um, this being said, the spiritual experiences that are presented by these psychedelics can sometimes be life altering in a way that could be considered detrimental. Now, personally, I think that spiritual awakening or any spiritual perception that has been changed for the better with the use of psychedelics is a positive thing for society, even though it's not overly accepted by society. The majority of people are, I guess, a little bit brainwashed by social dynamics and media and all this type of thing, and kind of puts them in a position where they don't question much or anything like that. I'm sure you know. But I'm going to use the example of a few guys that are in the office. There are some of these people that I'm talking about. Excuse me. They don't really question much. They work at the office. Their life ahead of them. They want to move up, I guess, in their little enterprise and do what they can to support a family and impress their parents. Now, one weekend they decide to take psychedelics, some magic mushrooms, thinking that they're going to see funny colors, but instead they have very depthful spiritual experiences. So before they had these experiences, they decided to, well, their life, I guess, was completely different from after they had these experiences. Afterwards, they were less, they quit their job, they were less attracted to making themselves look powerful in the eyes of other people, this kind of stuff. They started living for themselves and just general spiritual awakening. So, like I said before, I do think this is good. I think this is positive for society. But I think that people should realize that these types of changes can happen with psychedelics, especially in this case. And I think it's the most common case that people who haven't done much research decide to use these substances recreationally, but in the end they either have a bad trip or have a profoundly moving spiritual experience that completely changes them as a person. They were a different person before they took the psychedelics than to the person that they were afterwards. And who knows, maybe afterwards they quit their jobs and they divorced their wives because they didn't truly love them, blah blah blah. They wanted something more spiritually satisfying, and they lived a life completely off of the path that had been previously burned into their head by media and social dynamics. So yeah, I just think that anyone who is like this, or anyone who is new to psychedelics, or hasn't researched them much, should research and should be conscious that psychedelics can produce a very life-changing experience. That maybe the person you are now